Okay, here we go. We're live.
Nice. Noise.
There it is.
Noise. Is this thing on?
Hello.
On, and we're hot, and it's time.
Nice.
I've been thinking about Mortal Kombat all day,
Yeah, man.
all week.
Sure. After we mentioned it, you're like, all right. Now I can't forget about it.
Time to get in, yeah.
Yeah.
Unforgettable.
And it's kind of, just in all my research for this episode of the Nerdy Bit Show, I kind of forgot how much I loved Mortal Kombat at one point.
Hey, you know what though? We got some housekeeping to do first.
We do got some housekeeping to do first.
Because
I started to put in the title. This is a new day for the Nerdy Bit Show, and we have a new co-host.
Cheer.
Hi.
Sergeant Sodium.
yeah,
What's up, guys?
you all know him. He's just come to the other dimension.
It's elsewhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 So
Welcome.
yeah, if you listen to the other episode, we decided to do some restructuring, and we want to combine all our nerd efforts into one flagship. So
One nerd pie.
that's yep. So here we are, and we actually I don't why did we get land on Mortal Kombat, guys? How did that even happen?
Because
Oh, the movie.
Because
The
movie
trailer.
came
Yeah,
out.
the trailer
Okay.
came out.
I should have been able to look up with that myself.
Probably.
So we came up with that before all this restructuring and stuff. So here we are. Anyway, you know the deal. So what were you saying now, Tech, about Mortal Kombat?
Oh, I was just saying that I kind of realized how much of my life was consumed by Mortal Kombat at one point in time.
I think if you're old enough, your life will have, and if you're old enough and you played video games, part of your life will have been consumed by Mortal Kombat. It's almost like unavoidable.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's
It's
weird.
a household name, isn't it?
It's weird because, like, yes and no. Because I know of it, but really no part of my life has ever been consumed with Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean?
You've never played Mortal Kombat as like
I've
but you hate fighters.
I've played
Yeah.
listen, I hate fighters. Sorry, that's a community reference. But no, yeah, I like fighting games that are like different than what I have seen what we've seen for, decades now. So like Ryan and I played Absolver for a while, and they have a new game coming out, looks dope. It's just it's a change to that formula. The side by side fighting game just didn't appeal to me for a long time. Largely because Ben was a dick when I was younger. And then after that, I don't know.
Who was
So
that giant?
I've played Mortal Kombat for probably 5-6 hours total in my life.
Who was that giant?
okay.
Who was that giant kid that just made it to the NBA, but it was playing basketball in high school, just fucking packing,
I was just destroying people,
just destroying everybody. Yeah,
yeah. No,
Kinda
that's
a little bit like
how
that.
Ben. That's how Ben treated me in the old combat. That's mortal.
Well, then this is a conversation for the old guys in the group. I feel like me and Ben know exactly when Mortal Kombat started.
Mhm.
I know me personally. I remember when it first came out, and the excitement about it, and the controversy, because there was a lot of controversy behind Mortal Kombat when it came out.
Yeah, it was.
Video
it
games
was
were not
violent.
rated,
Yeah,
and that was
Sure,
before
yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
it was in the world of like, I guess I want to say in the time of Street Fighter 2, like around that time period is when I kind of started getting into arcade fighters, so like a lot. And then Mortal Kombat, I don't think I was ever really like diehard Mortal Kombat until it was at home, because at first it wasn't.
Sure.
It was only on arcades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it became like accessible at home, that's when I kind of got into it, and having game matches with my friends, and like the couch match or whatever, and because of course there was no online, not even we're not even
Sure.
close to that.
Nobody even thought about it.
Nobody even thought about it. And I remember the changes that they made, like when they started making changes to the game and kind of changing the dynamics, which we'll get into in a little bit about how drastically they changed the dynamics. Let's see, what was it about the 80s and fighting tournaments?
Seemed like right
Man.
between that and Street Fighter, and then all the other clones like King of Fighters and World Heroes and Soul Calibur,
And then you had all the film industry was doing it too, with
like
Van Damme-
Bloodsport.
Van
Yeah.
Damme movies and Rambo
Oh, well,
movies and all that shit. Fighting was a big deal.
Did you guys know that Midway was trying to make a video game based off Jane Von Clan. Was Jean Von
Jean-
Claude Van Damme?
There we go.
Just
I'm
let
sorry, I
let him
couldn't
figure
get
it out.
Yeah.
It was so many. He has so many names. Yeah. So they tried to make a video game based on him, and it didn't work out, and that's how they got to Mortal Kombat. And if you peep, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Johnny Cage, he was kind of dressed exactly like Jean-Claude was.
Yeah, and he's the Hollywood guy in the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that until my research. I thought that was pretty interesting. That it's pretty much based on Jean-Claude.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when, maybe not when the first one. When did the first Mortal Kombat, what was that? 94?
No,
Hold on.
91.
The game?
Where's the notes?
Or 92.
92.
92. Okay. So I remember having a Sega Genesis when I turned, I don't know, Ben, how old was I when you gave that to me? 7?
98.
Yeah, I remember friends coming over and being like, check this out, and doing the gore code thing.
That's right.
So you could play because Mortal Kombat came out on Nintendo and Sega, but the Nintendo, because they're a family company, ostensibly, had not digital realms, shit. Nether realms take out the gore.
Yeah, like Nintendo, there was no blood.
Right. And
on
then in
the, Super
Sega,
Nintendo version.
it was also not there, but if you put in a specific code, then it was. And that was like the thing to do when it came out. So I remember interacting with that, and then
Like when you wrote
promptly
cheat codes
turning it
on
off.
notebook paper.
Napkins.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, you know what's funny? A couple years ago, this is a complete side note, but going back to that, I went to New Jersey and got my comic book collection back, and on my comic book box, which I have right over there, is a video game code
Oh,
Nice.
It's so cool.
Amazing.
that I wrote as a
Amazing.
kid.
Nice.
Amazing.
Uh,
Times were different, man.
what? I mean, I really want to talk about arcades though before we get too far into the Mortal Kombat trilogy, because like it goes on. Like there's a release every year. It looks like.
No, so many releases.
Yeah. So
More than people think. More than people realize.
For sure.
So Caleb and Ryan, not addressing you guys directly, when did arcades just kind of disappear, right?
Not long after the home console became a big thing. That was the whole fear over the home console, is that it wouldn't be successful because people aren't going to spend that much to play games at home. They go to the arcade, and then
And the
Nintendo
games at
came
home
out-
looks, you know what it was? You know what, Caleb? It wasn't exactly that. It was that when these games at home looked as good as the arcades.
You think that was it?
Maybe, right? Because for the longest time, the home port just wasn't as good. Mortal Kombat at home was not as good.
Well, they didn't. I think Mortal Kombat 3 was the first one that they didn't put in the arcades, because that moment signifies the
Wow.
kind of the death of the arcade.
That's wild.
Because Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 were definitely arcade games.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't really remember why we stopped going to arcades, because I used to go to one religiously, like once a week, but I just stopped being a thing.
Yeah,
Me
I
personally.
think.
I don't think I ever existed when arcades were.
I was gonna try to ask that.
Huge.
There was one at the mall, and
Yeah.
we would stop in there when we went shopping, and that was about it.
The most arcade gaming I did was like at restaurants that had arcades, so you could tell your kids to fuck off, like
Yeah.
CC's Pizza and shit.
Yeah. Pizza had like 2 machines. It was like a racing game.
I remember
and a claw
going back
machine
and
or
playing
something
like
that.
yeah, Cruising America, or like the Fast and Furious game, or Hydro Thunder, you know, that shit.
Yeah.
And then Dave and Buster's is my big, like
Or Chuck E. Cheese.
did that too.
That had nothing violent in it. So except for the
2005,
scary
there was 25
Except for
arcades
the
in New
rat.
York. In 2005, there's 25 arcades in New York City, down from hundreds just a decade before. And in 2011, there was fewer than 10.
Damn.
So between 95 and 2005 was the great culling. And then since 2010, we've got the modern arcades, the ironic ones, or the Dave and
The
Buster's and stuff like
barcades. and-
So the funny thing is, the most time I've spent in an arcade was actually last weekend in Nashville, because there was a new place that opened up that was full of old arcade games, and
Yeah.
actually I went and played Mortal Kombat on it. Like I got to play it. Yeah,
Which one?
it was 2. if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. Like playing through like the old style like tournament and shit. You had to keep fighting your way through the lists. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
But this arcade was cool because it was all free. You just had but they had a full bar and like full menu for food, but you can go in and play all of their games for free except for like the new high end, shooting games and stuff like that. So yeah, it was awesome. We just bounced around arcade games.
That is awesome.
I kind of make a point to go to a barcade in every town I visit. Well, when I used to travel. But San Diego has a couple great ones. Chicago's got a couple like world class ones, of course. Galloping Ghost and Emporium's all right, but Galloping Ghost is like pretty famous.
Yeah.
Seattle has
Texas has a nice one.
Seattle has a 2-floor arcade downtown called GameWorks. That's fucking awesome.
Cool.
I think we take up down for granted. It's one of the
Up
best
down is
ones
very
I've been
good.
to.
I do not take it for granted. I just haven't been really hanging out indoors very much lately.
Yeah.
I don't live in a city that's cool.
Fucking love that place.
No, you don't, Ryan.
What is that?
I said I don't live in a city that's cool. So I walked into a mall in Nashville. It was like, fuck my city. Like that's how
man. He's like, man, I live in a place that sucks.
like, straight up.
Well, life is long. Who knows what the future holds, right?
Unless it's super not, and then you don't know. So
until tomorrow.
I don't want to get too dark here.
We're talking about Mortal Kombat. What do you mean don't get too dark?
Yeah, sure. Unless you enter a contest for your life, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
It's official. You suck.
If I was losing and I heard that, I'd probably get super mad.
Tech, now you understand why I don't play fighting games.
No, fighting games against the wrong people. Fighting games are dreadful.
Yeah,
absolutely dreadful.
Me and Caleb played UFC for about a week, or actually probably a month or so.
It was probably about a month.
And thought we were really good, and then we jumped online, played one game. We're like, "Fuck this game! I'm done. Like I'm out. Like I don't like it at all."
to justify to give you an example of the last time I tried, when the Xbox One came out, there was a big announcement that Killer Instinct was coming back. People were losing their minds about it. And so when it came out, it was Xbox exclusive, and it was on Games with Gold or something like that. So I downloaded it to give it a shot because I was like, fuck it. I'll try and get into a fighting game because I was, on my own, not worried about my brothers playing with me. So I shit you not, I played one match, got my ass kicked. And instead of quitting, went to the dojo, and I played in the dojo of Killer Instinct for 3 hours, learning all the different characters and who I like the most and figuring out, because in that game you can chain moves together. It looks very kung fu, and then like you can break a chain in the middle and counter chain, and it looks really dope.
But there's 3 breaks, and you have to predict which move they're doing.
Exactly. So I got really good, and then I put it on easy because I just wanted to go in and whip ass. And the difficulty in that game was adaptive, so I pulled off a 27-hit chain, and the AI went okay, and it pulled off a 37-hit chain and killed me instantly, and I uninstalled it. That was the last time I played a side-by-side fighting game. For some reason, that shit just nope. I don't need it.
I think what you really need is to get into a game at the same time as someone else, a few people, perhaps perhaps, and we all learn together. I can tell you right now, I'm fucking awful at Mortal Kombat. Always have been.
Well, we need to play Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah,
that's what that means.
But there's a few others that I would love to get into. There's a new Guilty Gear coming out that just looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks great.
And then I like all the super 3D ones that have come out now. Like all Naruto has been 3D for a long time.
I dig,
and that's always been great. But like, I think there's
Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, and
I think My Hero Academia's got one, but all those open arena ones where you can just run around and do whatever you want. Those are really cool. Yeah. But
I think Ben and Tech, you guys hosted a party and had Mortal Kombat at the party, like on the TV in the back room.
That's very likely.
You guys were in U City.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the last time I played Mortal Kombat, and I played for a while. I was actually entertained. I was like, "Damn, maybe I should get into this game."
No, they're fun, man. You just can't go online, and that speaks for a lot of things. I'm not going to go online in Call of Duty anymore.
Sure.
So let's talk about Mortal Kombat. Since we're just the best way to talk about Mortal Kombat, the beginning, is to also talk about the movie at the same time, because Mortal Kombat the movie was really the exact same story as Mortal Kombat 1, the video game.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was pretty close to it, right?
Right.
What do you guys think about that 1992 wonderful. Was it 92? What year was that?
92.
That wonderful, wonderful movie.
Wait, the
I know Mortal
movie
Kombat
came
1
out
came out in 92.
The movie came
No, I
out
think
the
it
same
came out
time.
later. No, I think it came out later.
95.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
95.
my bad.
So after
So after
after
2.
Mortal Kombat 2, and maybe the same year as 3.
Actually, the same year as 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it was
So what
like
did you guys-
part of that year, if it was before or after. But
I'll be honest with you right now. I'll just tell you right now, off rip. Your boy Tech loves Mortal Kombat the movie.
yeah, it's good.
And
It's fun.
After watching it again this week, solidified.
Nice. It holds up.
Great lines, great fights. Very few problems. It was problematic. A lot of people had a problem with Raiden. I kind of had a problem with Raiden.
Yeah,
Recently.
that's because
Like
Christopher Lambert's
he's
a
a
fucking
Highlander.
goofball.
He's the Highlander. But then someone said, like, well, like everyone had a problem with Raiden, but there was no visual representation of Raiden. Like you couldn't see Raiden in the video games. Like there really wasn't like a definitive. This person is Raiden. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Sure.
Right.
Because you really there was no face. You didn't know what race he was. You didn't know anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I think representation wasn't a fucking big deal in the 90s as it is. It's always been a big deal, but like people are conscious towards it now, right? So we don't want to skip ahead, but the latest trailer is full of Asian actors, and Mortal Kombat is very much, what did I write down at the top? It says it's a netherworld kung fu circus of horror. So it's very much kung fu. It's all Chinese mythology. Look there's a dragon as the main icon, right? Like it's very much kung fu, and like what if kung fu had a multiverse, and so now we've got Asian actors, and that's pretty badass, right? But back then we had a guy with a French guy with a funny accent playing Raiden, and
I think he was probably my least favorite in that entire movie.
Sure.
The dude who plays Shang Tsung was fucking
Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
He was
he's still.
terrifying,
I think he's in
dude.
Mortal Kombat 11. Like that's how much people love that guy.
Where they did like in the game, they went and have a whole like a lot of the actors from that first movie are in this game.
Yeah.
Like they recorded the lines for it. The girl who plays Sonya Blade, I forgot her real name. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He killed it.
I like Johnny Cage a lot.
Yep, he was fun.
Yeah.
He
was
played
good,
the role
but it was
perfectly.
It was a $500 sunglasses asshole. Like, that shit was fucking good, dog. That shit was good. The dude who played Liu Kang was perfect.
Yep.
He was a big actor in Asia.
Your soul is mine.
Dude, there's one quote from this movie that I've literally said my entire life, and it is every man's in charge of his own destiny. I've said that shit for fucking
Decades.
Week on the week.
25 years.
Literally decades.
25 years, dog.
52 times a year.
Literally every day. So what do you
Jesus.
guys, Caleb, what do you think about Mortal Kombat the movie? You've seen it, yes?
Yeah, no, I remember like the first time I saw it, I think I was young, and I was like, yeah, cool. I remember watching it in college again and being like, this sucks. but I like upon rewatching it and like just kind of understanding what it was for when it happened, it's fucking awesome, right? Because like in 1995, there was no reason for a video game movie based off of a video game that's largely a fighting game to like be any good at all. And it was quality. It was quality. So I'll recognize that like it absolutely is quality. But not like being into the games. I didn't really have the same reaction to it when I first saw it, right? Like y'all are talking about going and seeing it and being like, oh my God, it's the stuff from the game. I never really had that reaction. So to me, it was kind of like a standalone.
Let us quickly remember that this Super Mario Brothers movie was released in '93. That was pretty much the first video game movie, if you're not counting The Last Starfighter, which is technically a video game movie, right?
Sure, yeah.
And then we got Double Dragon, which wasn't great. Street Fighter, we could talk about that another day because that's a whole fucking circus. Right, so I'm going to say that this is probably one of the first truest sensations of video game and movie form.
Oh yeah.
I think it worked because no one attached was a big name, right?
Why not?
So like they tried to they tried to get certain people for it, but it just didn't work out. I think
Video game
hold on,
movie. I'm not doing that.
Well,
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz was supposed to be Sonya Blade, but she broke her wrist right
Wow.
before principal shooting.
Wow, that's
like
wild.
she was like hired.
That's
They
wild. I love it.
They wanted Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he didn't do it. He said no. And for the second one, Michael Jai White was offered the role of Jax.
Wow,
But he turned it down because he had just got the lead role for Spawn.
that's
He wanted
incredible.
to do that.
Damn.
Okay, so
And
Christopher Lambert did Highlander in '86, so he's the biggest name in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one that everyone had the most problem with. Everyone had the most problem with him.
It's because
It's because it's
he's a silly bitch.
It's a silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Lord Raiden was goofy. Like I didn't like that. One more fun fact. This is from the second movie. The stuntman who played who was Raiden's stuntman was the dude that played Darth Maul.
Ray Park.
Damn.
Amazing. Ray Park.
Wow.
Dope.
So
So
that's
whose
another
stuntman
fun
was he
fact.
for?
Raiden
For the movie. Wow.
for the second movie.
Oh, for the set for Annihilation.
He's the one that did like
Yeah.
38 backflips in a row. Like whenever he was going down that hallway fighting all those guys.
Hey Sarge, I didn't make it that far in Annihilation this week. For the last 2 weeks, bro, I've been trying so hard.
that bad.
Giving it
Oh
the
my
old
God,
college try.
Oh my god.
I wanted to transition to talk about the second movie. Has everyone seen the second movie?
Yeah.
I haven't
No,
seen
have
it.
not.
I haven't seen it since
I-
it came out.
I watched both of them last week with my wife. That was the first time she has seen any Mortal Kombat. She's like, the first one was good. The second one,
See,
I don't know.
and that's my question.
Second one?
How is it that the first Mortal Kombat movie for 1995 is actually kind of solid,
Yep.
but the second movie is so much worse?
Well,
Leaps and bounds.
I'm sure we
Dude.
could dig in and find out why, right?
for what it's
Well,
worth,
the director,
of the first one went on to make Event Horizon.
yeah.
So
which is
that
terrifying.
dude's
Ooh.
talented as fuck.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Paul
I hate
Paul
that movie.
Anderson did both of those, and also that same guy directed Monster Hunter. You guys have been wondering if you should watch it.
I
It's
do
directed
wanna
by
watch
the guy
that.
who directed Event Horizon and Mortal Kombat.
That's great.
The second one is not directed by him, but it's directed by the guy who did the cinematography for like The Conjuring and Insidious. So like he's also talented.
But but also he had to have room to grow.
Yeah, that
right?
was 50,
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Right, he had to have room to grow. There's a very interesting thing. There's only two people that were in the original Mortal Kombat that reprised their roles.
Yep.
And that was the person who played Liu Kang
Mhm.
and the person who played, what is her name? Oh my God. Her name in real life is Taliso
Katana?
Soto.
Katana?
Katana.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's just,
you make
Also-
a movie based on a game that's wildly popular. So like you've got the budget and you can't get anybody but two people from the first movie to come
Well,
back.
the dude who
I
played
thought he was
Johnny
the main
Cage said he read
character.
the script.
That's
Yeah.
my point.
Dude,
That's my point. Like they had to have read that script and been like, "Fuck no,
No,
dude."
the dude who played Johnny Cage said he read the script and said no.
Wow.
Well,
But they also,
the bad
they
thing
also
is,
killed him immediately.
yes, he was dead immediately, so you couldn't show up
Sure.
for 5 minutes. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
And then like the first scene is literally 1 second after the first movie ends.
Yep.
And everyone's wearing different clothes.
yep.
Like, it's literally instant.
You also
And-
don't realize how much the first movie was actually a love story between Johnny Cage and what's her face, the blonde,
Sonya.
yeah, and
Sonya.
Sonya, because she gets so upset. Like, all right, was this like a fighting movie or like a love story back then? Like, what the hell? Like, they were so about it. She was like, "Oh my god, you killed him! Like, he's mine for sure." Like, I was like, all right, like I don't like any of this anymore.
Man, this second movie looks so bad.
The best part and actually the worst part is the last 15 minutes of the fucking movie. Whenever because Liu Kang finds his spirit animal throughout this movie, and within the last 15 minutes, the main fight is where they both turn into spirit animals, and one's a dragon and one's some King Ghidorah looking motherfucker, and
Oh,
it's the worst CGI of my life.
Yeah, CGI back
And
then was pushed out the nest too early.
And so they fight, and it's just like, what was the point of the fight? Because then like they end, and then they still fight for a little bit, and then it's over. It's like there was no point to have the spirit
Yeah,
animals even
that's-
come out. Like it was disgusting. It was
I was actually grossed out.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't
yet-
remember finishing it back then, and I never went to go back to watch it again.
Tech, how far into it could you get?
Yeah, I need to know.
Dude, Mag, I keep things happen on screen that makes me want to turn it off. The first one was Jax and Sonya running from, I forgot which syntax, maybe the bomb, and just like the way it was like the bomb drops, it's going off, and all of a sudden 1 second later it goes off and they're all the way like 30 feet away from the building.
Yeah.
like doing the explosion
Right.
fall.
Cool
And
guys.
I was like, yeah, I got other shit to do.
Like fire.
That's the way.
There's an aerial shot. There was like a gas leak in a neighborhood I saw the other day, and there was like a helicopter flying over, and like it ignites, and it's pretty scary. Well, we've all seen explosions, right? Explosions are pretty quick, you guys. I don't think you can run from them.
No. Well,
No, not
it
the-
sounds like
not the-
I'm coming down.
hundreds of thousands of feet per second.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's real
the
fast.
running from fire is very interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Ah,
And then I think I was watching it again, and I got to which is I think a few minutes later, maybe the next scene, when they're fighting and the smoke comes out. They fight smoke,
Mm-hmm.
and then young Sub-Zero comes in and he helps them, and I was just like, yeah, I can't. Like it was too much. I just can't do it.
Sure.
I mean, and I think it's more so that it just looks visually really, really bad.
Mhm.
And like it's
you can tell it wasn't a budget either because they were like out in this quarry shooting the whole movie, right?
were they? Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Like,
one
they had,
section
like-
was a huge quarry.
They had these the wires on everyone were just like ill placed. Like it was like unnecessary wire work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like someone gets kicked and they fly across the fucking. It was weird.
They should have
Yeah.
gotten a.
Yeah.
They should have gotten a Hong Kong production company to make a Mortal Kombat movie. That'd be freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. But would it be? Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah, even back then it would have been.
Yeah.
Even bad.
Like honestly, like all those like Wu-Tang movies, and like they were killing it with the flying
Yep,
shit, right?
yep.
Like it shit was great.
Jet Li's been
that shit
doing.
looks so bad.
Jet Li and Donnie Yen have been doing wire fu for decades,
Oh my god.
and then Americans try it. It's like, all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get away from that abomination.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so anyone has a Mortal Kombat game that's their favorite? Does anyone have one? Mine's Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which is amazing that they made it because it came out the same year that Mortal Kombat 3 came out, and basically everything that was wrong with Mortal Kombat 3, they just said fuck it and just made Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Interesting.
I endured Mortal Kombat for a while. I played 1 and 2 because it was hot and seeing blood was cool and it was all right. When Street Fighter came out, I was like, oh, this plays much better. I was all about it. It's faster, more fluid, stuff like that. So the one that I played the most is when I lived with my friend Grant. We played it to death. It's Deadly Alliance. That was the first big 3D rebirth in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Everything before that was rehashed. Mortal Kombat 4 was the first 3D one, and that was really bad. And then everything after that was rehashed. Mortal Kombat Gold, stuff like that. Yeah, but Deadly Alliance was the first 3D like PS2 remake, and it was great. It was great.
Did Deadly Alliance have everybody in it?
Yeah, I don't
one that had everyone in
remember.
it?
No, I remember having a limited cast, but like the fidelity, the gameplay, the Deadly Alliance is the format we have now. Like all we've been doing since then is upgrading. Like Soul Calibur just keeps getting better, but it's still Soul Calibur. Mortal Kombat 11 is because of Deadly Alliance. Then the success of Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance.
You know what? I did play this version, and you're right.
It's incredible.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was so far, like I kind of fell off around Mortal Kombat 3,
Mhm.
honestly. So like when they brought it back, when it started getting cool again, like I didn't know who like the villains were anymore.
No,
like
yeah,
I just
that's-
was
Sure.
unfamiliar.
Yeah,
I think
the
that's-
lore just
and I-
escaped you at that point.
Yeah. That's worth mentioning though,
Yeah.
because the lore is cohesive from beginning to end.
Yeah, they did a 14-year payoff with one of the villains, Blaze.
Really?
Which in Mortal Kombat 2, there was the character that was all the way in the back of the background fighting someone, and he was on fire. And they were like, "Oh, that's Blaze," and didn't say anything about it. So people were like, "Who the fuck is Blaze?" 14 years later, Blaze is one of the bosses.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah, so
That's
it
dope.
was a really cool like payoff for people.
Yeah,
I think
throughout. Yeah. Okay.
I think the first time I got into Mortal Kombat, like, and enjoyed it for a bit, was Mortal Kombat versus DC. I have to redact my statement I said earlier. I forgot this game existed. But Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, I played in college with a bunch of people, and that's probably actually why we ended up watching the movie again. But we fucked with that because it was, I guess it was like the easy way in for me because it had characters I knew, cared about, like Batman and dumb shit. And then they mixed them. I fucked with that game a lot.
I think that game changed the scope of fighting games to this day.
You think so?
MK versus DC.
I think so. I think it was. I think that collaboration changed a lot of for fighting games. And the reason I say that is because it feels like people like both entities still like DC is using that engine.
Yeah.
Like the Mortal
Injustice.
Kombat engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Injustice is Mortal Kombat.
It's made by the
Just-
same team, even.
Yeah. So like that, I think that game is very significant to the resurgence of the video game. The Mortal Kombat video game. Honestly,
Maybe, yeah.
they've kind of been popping ever since. They haven't really had Mortal Kombat 10 and 11. 10
was huge.
pretty fucking good.
10 was
Yeah.
huge.
They slowed down
Pretty
a
fucking
lot.
solid.
They slowed down a lot. So, like, if you look at that
Yeah.
release schedule, like 99 up
Bam,
until
bam.
Mortal Kombat versus DC in 2008, they're making one every year.
From 92 to
Um,
2012, it was like every year almost.
Well, they took they took pretty much like the main company took a break,
Yeah.
and those like Special Forces, those were spin-offs. They were all spin-offs. So like
Right.
that wasn't even. But then when they came back, they had the Daily Alliance and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to me, that Mortal Kombat versus DC, that kind of changed the game and brought Mortal Kombat back into a respectable place, and then kind of ushered DC into the fighting world.
Yeah. I think that was also maybe the first Mortal Kombat with DLC. So, like,
I believe that.
the Mortal Kombat team was like, what if we released like 6 of these characters in 3 months? And then,
And then they had Freddy Krueger in there too.
Yep.
yeah.
Like that.
That
That was
yeah.
unheard of.
Well, that's I think that's where you're right in that, like, it's what made them realize, like, oh shit, Mortal Kombat can be successful. Because suddenly with DC working, all these other properties were like, fuck it, why not? Right? Because Mortal Kombat X had a bunch of fucking characters. They had like Terminator. No, this one had Terminator. It's still like they've had Terminator, they've had Spawn, they've had Joker show up outside of the DC ones. They've had all sorts of other properties come in. And like, I think that, yeah, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe was the first time that they did that. And it was the time that proved most lucrative, the game that proved most lucrative. They were like, oh shit, we could just add other characters and people will pay for them. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. And you can see that, like, after Mortal Kombat versus DC, they waited 3 years to put out another Mortal Kombat, and then they put out the like complete edition of that later, right? So after all the characters are out a year later, and then they wait another for Mortal Kombat 10, and then a Game of the Year, or sorry, X, and then a Game of the Year with XL, and then the games are spreading out, but they're providing more with each game. Yeah, I think that so like I beefed with fighting games for a long time, but like I said, one of the last fighting games I played that was this style, this traditional 2D side by side, was Mortal Kombat. I remember specifically thinking while playing it, like, oh shit, the story of this kind of fucking slaps.
Yeah. I
Because it would
remember
run from like cutscene to
yeah,
like
flawlessly.
cut right into the combat and then right out of combat
Yeah.
into the next cutscene. I was like, oh damn, this
No
kinda
load
fucking-
screens. Yeah.
This is kind of dope. So yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat's kind of the. Who do you put on the pedestal first on the podium? Right, you've got Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken. Who's first? Who's second? Who's third? What does that podium look like?
They're all very unique and have different fan bases. I feel like.
Well, what's the contest? Is it the
I
pole
think-
vault
yeah.
or is it long jump? Like, what do we, right? What do,
I mean, for like market saturation, right? Like, what games were
Mortal
more
Kombat's
people
bigger.
playing?
yeah, Mortal Kombat.
I can go to my grandmother and say, you know Mortal Kombat? She'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
If I say,
Right.
do you know Tekken? She'll have no idea what I was talking about.
What
Right.
about Street Fighter? You don't think Street
But-
Fighter is bigger?
No, maybe not.
It's well, okay.
Mortal Kombat-
We need to mention.
as a household name, it's not. But
We
like,
need-
if you
Sure.
go to the gaming community, it's like Street Fighter all day over probably everything. Because I mean, they have huge tournaments on
Man,
this
I
stuff.
don't
Sure.
see Street Fighter tournaments like that.
Oh,
Like, are they do they have Street Fighter tournaments?
Yeah.
I see Tekken
Mhm.
tournaments. I see Mortal Kombat tournaments, but I don't see Street Fighter tournaments like that.
Street Fighter's
Yeah.
had a couple. The only problem is Street Fighter's had sort of a negative hit the last few years because they kind of fucked up with 5 and they made it PlayStation exclusive. So Capcom's fucking up as Capcom does, and so that's sort of why that took a little dip. But as far as like the history of fighting games, Street Fighter's been on top. And I should mention that when the Mortal Kombat trailer broke, we have to give Street Fighter some credit because somebody was complaining that Chun-Li wasn't in the trailer. So
I think that was a troll, but yes.
That's definitely a troll.
okay.
I would
Anyway.
hope that somebody's editor wouldn't let that happen. I did a little research though while we were talking, and just
Ooh.
in franchise sales,
Yeah. See it.
what do you want to put for? Okay, if you haven't seen it, what do you want to guess? 1, 2, and 3: Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, or Tekken? Who's first?
Street Fighter, MK, Tekken, in that order.
Ryan, what's your guess?
Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Damn, neither of you get any points because all 3 of your placements are wrong. It's Mortal Kombat at 54 million, Tekken at 50 million, and Street
Whoa.
Fighter at 45 million.
This is franchises, right?
Right.
So this is not video games. This is
That's franchise.
everything.
That's franchise
Right.
overall
Yeah.
sales.
everything.
Although
Wow.
if you look at like best-selling fighting games specifically, Street Fighter 2 is in second place all time with 15.5 million alone. And
What's
Mortal
first?
Kombat X is third with 11. First is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 20 million.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fucking awesome. Good job for them. That's
So Mortal
That's great.
Kombat's fucking huge.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, it's all pretty close, right?
Ooh.
Like when you're talking millions, like 10 million
Yeah.
difference is not that big difference.
The Mortal Kombat series has sold 51,000 arcade cabinets between Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2.
Mhm.
You know how many the Street Fighter series overall has sold?
Thrice that, I bet.
Over 500,000.
Wow.
Yikes!
And Street Fighter 2 itself sold more than 300,000.
Yeah. That's
Damn.
incredible.
But that's where you see what we were talking about at the beginning of this, right? The trade-off between like when did arcades die and when did console or home gaming start? It's right
Mhm.
around when Mortal Kombat started. So like they put out 2 games that they made arcade versions for, but after that they were like,
well,
fuck it, like everyone's playing on their Segas.
The
or on
early-
their whatever's.
no, the Verge article really said that the early 90s was the huge arcade resurgence. I don't know how long it lasted, but when Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat came out, arcades were hot again. Hot,
So-
hot. Yep. And when I was going to the mall, let's think. I probably stopped really going to the mall halfway through high school. So 97, right?
Mhm.
That goes to say, closer you get to the aughts is when it starts to die. But, all through most of the 90s, good 3, 4 years, 5-year span, whatever, arcades were in the heyday. So it's kind of weird to like classify an entire genre of business as coming and going, right? Like restaurants don't come and
sucks.
go, bars don't come and go, but arcades as a business, it's crazy.
Yeah, like the idea of the entire business. I think about that all the time. I thought about it yesterday.
I guess department stores are
About like
next.
yeah, well, for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, things just changed. Like I was thinking, there's something that I saw that made me think, like, damn, I used to go to here to get that, and now that place is like that whole idea of doing that is over.
Yeah.
Right. Like just the whole like way of life will change on the industry. Like it was magazines, right? And it was earlier today. I was the video I was watching. They talked about PlayStation Weekly or
Mhm.
Yeah.
the magazine.
Or OXM.
I was like, man,
yeah.
I used to love video game
Oh
magazines.
yeah, dude.
bro.
Especially when they
Like,
came with demo discs, man.
Oh my god, I used to love 'em.
Demo discs.
I used to love them.
Fucking great.
I used to love that. I used to love Wizard Comics.
Yep.
All gone.
Yep.
Hey, I
All
still
these
read.
magazine industries.
I still read Edge and Game Informer. The
Edge is
last
beautiful.
two big
I have
game
an Edge magazine right here.
magazines. Edge is incredible.
Edge is
yeah.
beautiful.
But yeah, there's like it went from like PlayStation Mag and OXM and like PC, like 20 magazines based on games. So now there's like
Mhm.
2, and it's wild.
And they're replaced with they've been replaced by websites that motherfuckers, like the amount of people who were reading magazines probably don't even look at those websites.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, also IGN gets like millions of views a day, so
Yeah, that's huge. All right, so let's go around and talk about favorite characters, favorite Mortal Kombat characters.
ooh,
Johnny
It's
Cage.
tough.
I
That's
feel
tough.
Like
I know
I
this.
feel like mine's gonna be
But
unpopular.
why though? We gotta get a name and a why.
I know the Street
So-
Fighter cast so much better. that's the But go ahead.
I played Johnny Cage. I played the games before I saw the movies when I was younger, and that for some reason I don't know why, because he didn't have as many powers and abilities as everybody else did. He was just a fighter. I think that was one of the reasons why I picked him in the game to play as, and then, I thought he was cool in the movies, except for when he fought Goro and just kicked him in the nuts and then shoved him off a cliff like that. Thought that was really weird.
That
was like the
most
dumbest
realistic part
fight
of the movie.
That was
What'd
the
you say,
dumbest
Ted?
fight in the world.
Dude, that's the most realistic part of the movie.
I know,
dude.
I
What
know.
can you do against Goro in real life, bro? Like, and
Kicks
you
him
got no
in the,
powers.
it punches him in the nuts, then runs away, sneaks up behind him, third parties his ass. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's so
I mean,
great.
it was a horrible fight scene, but that was the most realistic fight scene in the entire movie.
You're like, fuck this, but also I get it. I get it.
Yeah, like 100%. You better have a plan, and that better be it. Can't work out your nuts. So
It was also
All right,
the worst character in the movie was Goro. Like, like whoever made that suit was
I'm interested
dude,
to
it's like
see.
20 animatronic puppet people were behind, like
Wow.
making the work. But like in 1995, that CG would not have worked.
No.
And that's why I'm low key excited for this new movie. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. So I remember playing with Baraka a lot
I liked him.
because he just looked
Mr. President.
dope. Also, yeah, he has those fucking blades in his arms and the giant toothy
Mhm.
venom-esque mouth. And then after that, it was Shao Kahn. No, not Shao
Okay.
Kahn. Maybe I mean Shang Tsung. I don't remember.
Shang Tsung is the shapeshifter, the guy.
Yes, the shapeshifter. Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yes. I was boring apparently. I picked just the big bad guys to fight.
No, mine. I have my main's boring. I got an alt though. That's more interesting.
Whoa.
Who's your main?
All right, so my main's Scorpion.
Okay.
So
Which
I-
is that's normal. I think
Yeah.
he's the most popular.
That's
character
like
from
your
Mortal
main
Kombat.
being Ryu.
Or Ken.
Fine.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ryu or Ken. And I do play Ryu a lot. But anyway, I play Ken too.
Why do you think Scorpion is the most popular? Is it the Get Over Here line?
Get Over Here's
Like,
pretty
like-
big. The hook rope is unique. His voice is great. He breathing fire on you as a fatality is incredible. So him coming from hell is something.
Wasn't
or
he on
whatever.
like the cover of a bunch of games too? So just naturally.
Yeah. They
There you
love
go.
Scorpion.
Yeah,
And
he was
his,
the cover artist.
his move of
He's the Wraith of Mortal Kombat.
of teleporting behind you is pretty clutch.
Yeah.
Right. So I
can we-
like his style really more than anything.
Can we talk about his hook for a second? Because we didn't talk about that from the first movie and how this thing was alive
Yeah.
and just
But that was kinda dope.
followed him for like a mile.
Yeah.
Like-
in the forest.
in a forest. I was like, dude, this thing's like supposed to be like 15 foot long and just grabs somebody in a straight line and pulls them to you. Like, didn't realize it's supposed to be this half-mile long thing that just chases you and changes directions when it wants
I
to.
thought that was kind of dope to make it sentient like that. Like it still had metal, like the rope was still metal around it. I thought it was kind of dope.
Until it went into the tree and died, and like blood
Yeah,
was all over the tree.
Yeah.
You guys remember
Okay.
Noob? Remember Noob Saibot?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He was a secret character in Mortal Kombat 2.
You know why he's
that's-
called?
And in
He's the.
order to get him, so here's a fun fact. No, go ahead.
Oh, it's probably gonna tie into yours. So you go first.
Actually, this is not about.
Oh, okay.
This is not about Noob Saibot.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So Noob Saibot's actually the name of the two creators, Tobias and Boone.
Mhm.
I remember discovering that when I was younger and being like, "Oh my god, it's the coolest character!" And then, yeah, that was that.
I'm now cooler for knowing that.
Yeah.
So did you guys know that the what is it? What does the guy say? Toasty or whatever, whoopsie or whatever.
Yeah.
The first one was a code. It was a glitch in the game that if you're doing uppercuts, you have to do like a certain amount of uppercuts,
Okay.
and then he pops out. And if you press down and start before he disappears, you'd instantly go through the portal. So it was only on that one map with the portal, and this is Mortal Kombat 2. You'd go through the portal and you'd fight Smoke.
Nice.
Damn,
That's awesome.
Amazing.
And I never knew that.
Did you guys know the huge thing about fighting Reptile in the first one? Reptile is a green version of Scorpion. It's just a palette swap. And you had to do it on the pit level, which is in like every Mortal Kombat. It's the level with the spikes on the bottom.
Mhm.
And you had to do it like while the moon was out and there's a witch flying across it.
Yeah, like
And
the
right-
moon, like there's like 3 little witches.
Yeah, and then you had to like shoot. You had to send the person off the pit into the spikes, and then if you did that, then you'd be able to fight. There's whole videos about people trying to replicate it or get to them and stuff like that. I actually asked. I went on Tasty Steve's Discord to try to get some of the fighting game community in here to give us little factoids like this. So if anybody's in the chat, let us know what the
Let
actual
us know.
technique is. But there are videos out there on how to replicate the.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah.
DJ Moff in the chat. What is up?
What up, Mom?
That's amazing. What's going on, man?
Yo.
Yeah.
Tech, who was
I
your
think
favorite?
My favorite character. Thank you. Thank you, Sarge. My favorite character, and this is going to be weird, but this is just the one that I've always when it first came out, it was Raiden. I loved Raiden for some reason, but my overall favorite character from like then to now is Sub-Zero. And it was Mortal Kombat 3 that I fell in love with Sub-Zero because that was the first time they introduced combos, and everyone had unique combos. And for some reason, I remembered his combo. Like, this is before you could Google it and find the combo. So like you had to either see it in the magazine or some way find out the combos. So I figured out his combo, and I just fucking love Sub-Zero. Plus, his power was dope to me to freeze people. I just thought it was fucking insane.
Yeah, that's dope.
Nice, man. So yeah, Moff hit us up. You had to get a double flawless on the pit stage as well. That's
Yeah,
also part of the riddle.
Double flawless.
They had
Yeah,
some crazy difficult glitches in those early games.
full of Easter eggs, man. They're all about
Sure.
it. Hey, I meant to mention my runner-up. My runner-up was Kenshi from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. He was blind, and he had a katana, and I thought that was awesome.
Yep, Ben absolutely fucks with that shit.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that was great.
That's funny.
He has a red bandana over his eyes. It's beautiful. It's great.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, so let's we have some time left, not too much. Let's talk about the future, right?
Sure.
No one here has bought Mortal Kombat 11.
Nope.
True.
No.
Why?
Well, I'll.
Because we all
Y'all
hate
answer.
fighters.
I,
Because we literally
because
all hate fighting
I
games.
think because nobody else did.
See, I bought Mortal Kombat 10 like when it came out,
Yeah.
and I bought Injustice 2. Like, I like fighting games.
Our-
It's relaxing.
Yeah, our clique just doesn't roll like that. Honestly, like if we did, we did. That's all there really is to it. If it was in the group, we would all be playing it. We just don't. And I think
Is it
maybe
because
it's just
only like one-on-one? There's only 2 people.
that
can
could be
play
part of
Is
it.
Maybe.
That could be part of it. Yeah, we all like to play together. Not a lot of people like to sit around and watch some people play, but that is part of the fighting game thing, is to watch people fight and react to it. You know, it could be good for the community, could be good for the streams, could be good for us. Maybe we should get into that shit, man. I do want to play as Kratos.
I've been wanting to buy Mortal Kombat 11.
You've been talking about it for a
months.
while.
But I know for a fact the moment I buy it, I said it so many times,
Yeah.
the moment I buy it, it's going to be in Game Pass.
That's right.
I'm going to be mad.
It was
I
on
feel
Game
like,
Pass
I feel like
once.
they're
I
waiting on
think.
me to buy it.
No, I don't think
You said what?
10 is.
I thought
think.
I thought Mortal Kombat was on Game Pass before, and then
10
last.
No, just 10.
Okay.
I mean, we could get
Yeah,
we
I
could
got-
all
I'm-
get 10 and at least try it.
I already have 10, so Ben, you already got 10, bro.
That's right. That's right.
And I got I think I got the version with everyone in it too. So I'm gonna end up buying it. I should have bought it a couple months ago. It was like $30 for the ultimate version. Now it's 60. I should have just bought it then.
No kidding, huh? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. New trailer is really great. Although there was one line that really tripped me up. Do you see me highlight it in the notes?
No, let me
So he
see.
pulls down his shirt and there's a birthmark. And the
I
line is like, it's a birthmark. And the guy next to her goes, what do you mean? And her answer is, he was born with it.
Well, damn.
Do you think that's really what I'm asking? Do you think I'm asking what a birthmark is?
Amazing.
But otherwise, the trailer's great, man. It looks like
Yeah.
they really sold the choreography. They kept the camera rolling, Caleb, right?
Mhm.
It looks like the fight scenes don't have like 300 camera cuts.
Sure.
It looks like they got people that knew what they were doing. Surely the guy who played Sub-Zero knows what he's doing. He's been doing martial arts movies for decades.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting
What- so
because
what
like
could-
action movies now, don't get me wrong, or yeah, that's what I meant to say. Don't get me wrong. Action movies back in the day definitely have their place, and a lot of them are very, very good. But I feel like we've just gotten better at that movie magic that makes things look better and look more real and look more like quick and fluid. And action movies right now are like at a peak, right? You've got like the
I would say
John
between
Wicks and
I would say
like-
between Winter Soldier and John Wick, we've reached a new
We've reached
level
the
of
thing.
a new level.
Right.
What am I trying to say? Standard.
Yeah. And so like the movies that are even the offshoots, like I just watched Boss Level yesterday, which is a Hulu movie with Frank Grillo, who played Crossbones in the Marvel movies.
Mhm.
That movie fucking rocks. And like it's cheesy and dumb, yeah, but like all the action's great and I love it. So like seeing Mortal Kombat have a trailer come out and it looked like it's high quality and well polished, I'm like, yo, this movie's probably gonna fucking slap, regardless of whether or not the story's any good, right? Like
Mhm.
the fight scenes are gonna be dope. And you see Sub-Zero freezing dude's blood into a shiv and stabbing him with
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It
Dude.
looks pretty
Like,
fucking good.
And but then like the way he looks dead, Sub-Zero looks dead in the eyes, and he's looking at it. So dope, dude.
It's great. It's great.
I think one problem the movie is not gonna have is the visuals. Like it's gonna look great.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
It's gonna look
but
great.
trailers are made to hook us. The movie might still be dog shit. It might be full of nonsense and stupid lines and plot holes and how did they run from that explosion and all that stuff. But you know, if we need to put our Monster Hunter caps on and maybe just have a good time, right?
Yep. The guy that's directing it, it is his first directed movie.
Okay.
That scares
So
me. That scares me.
Wow.
but it could
They put
also
him in
be
charge.
great. It could be great. Obviously, they saw something in the
Well,
dude,
yeah,
so-
the John Wick guy was his first movie too. He was
Oh my god, he knocked that.
Yeah,
clean
but
out
he'd
the
been
park.
stunt coordinating for like a decade. This guy
okay.
has no
Stunt coordinating
credits.
does not a director make.
No, this guy has no credits at all, Ben. This is his first one
Well,
on IMDb at all. So
Yeah, like I'm on Wikipedia and like his name is black, like no
It's
link.
nobody.
To his name or anything. Like you can't click it and see nothing, bro.
yeah,
wow.
it's yeah. I mean, fuck it, let's go. Also,
Yeah,
the
I'm
writer,
hyped. That looks
no
great.
credits. I
Is
love
that
it.
HBO movie? Is
Yeah,
it coming right to streaming, or do we have to go to
It'll
the theater?
be-
Yeah,
both.
it's coming on HBO Max.
It'll be both.
right?
Yeah, HBO's doing all of their movies simultaneous
Hell yeah.
release for a year.
But do I want to risk going to the movies to see this?
To get the whole theater screaming Mortal Kombat? Maybe. That might be worth experiencing again.
I don't want to
after
be in
20
a
years.
room full of people screaming. No.
Oh my god, this looks so good, dude.
It looks
This
good.
Yeah,
looks like, this
I just
looks like
watched
what
it.
we want.
Yeah.
It looks
This
good.
looks like what we want.
Yeah, it looks.
I don't
great.
know, man.
It should be
I
easy
would-
to make
I
a
would
Mortal Kombat
watch-
movie these days after all those cutscenes for the last few games have been like movie quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that short with Michael J. White years ago.
Pretty good.
yeah.
It was
I
pretty
posted a
fucking
link to
good.
that in the notes.
You did.
Yeah.
It made me think. I forgot all about it. It made me your post made me think about it again. I remember when it came out, how good it was.
You think Michael J. White regrets not doing Mortal Kombat?
No.
Was Spawn
Nah.
better?
No.
Yeah. I mean, better for him.
No, maybe.
But see, like honestly, Michael J. White in the black community is like a legend. You know.
Yeah,
Like
and every fighting
He's
movie
a-
he's an absolute god. So like,
yeah.
he's still carved that name out for himself.
He did great in
without,
Spawn.
with or without Mortal Kombat.
He did great in Spawn. Spawn was not bad because of him.
Sure.
Spawn was only bad because of the CG, to be honest. It was actually a pretty decent movie. Soundtrack was fucking wild.
I'm looking at this trailer and I wish we could play it, but like we got like copyright struck last the Godzilla episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
the only way to
so
like
bad.
So
the only way to watch our episodes in its truest form is VOD on Twitch, but yeah, YouTube gets butchered.
yeah, it does. But Melina looks so good.
Yeah.
And like that little one clip of Melina.
Oh, is that the chick
got
that's
me.
licking the blade?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucked
that
up.
got me, dude.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, this trailer's absolutely amazing. I'm 100% down.
Black Dynamite.
I mean, they're still gonna have that bullshit, right? Because like Sub-Zero stabs the shit out of Scorpion, and he's just fine.
oh, they're
like-
they're not human, really. So
That's true. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
you've seen
He
the
also
game where they
ripped
break
Jack's
bones and
arms
keep
off.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that
it-
dude. He was like,
in the game they break bones and keep fighting. So
I think that's the video I was watching mentioned that how like the first game that it happened in, how utter bullshit it was, and how it kind of kickstarted that whole in the middle of the fight you get this devastating blows, and all of a sudden you just good, just your neck, like like yeah.
I got punched in the jaw and every bone in my face broke, but I'm gonna say
But I'm
something at
good.
the end
I'm
of the
fine.
fight. Yeah.
Does that make the game better though? Because like now, doesn't Injustice do that too now? Like, does that make the game better for you guys? But you guys don't play fighting games, is there?
it's fun.
I mean,
it's a fun little
Yeah.
it's a fun little extra.
It's a similar thing to like what Ryan and I play a couple of sniper games that do it. Sniper Elite did it, and now Sniper Ghost Warrior does it as well, where it shows like the X-ray cam.
Yeah.
I don't really care But sometimes I'm like, okay, that was kind of cool. That's like almost exactly my reaction to the Mortal Kombat stuff. Is
I
like,
think if we were fighting each other,
or also
it
maybe
would have a little more impact.
Right.
maybe. Also, it changes for me if I've seen it before, right? Like if it's the first time I've seen it, I'm
The first
But
time
if-
you shoot a guy in the nuts on Sniper Elite, whenever like the first game came out,
right.
and it like slow-mos into him, like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
Why
why?
am I seeing testicles explode? Yeah, yeah. But every time after that, I was like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah. If it's every
Um,
shot, like, okay, this is really dumb.
Yeah.
Mop says the crushing blows can really change the balance of a fight last minute.
That's true.
So,
Like stagger and shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you
Well,
get
changes
that off,
changes the flow of
Yeah.
the combat and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's actually a moment to like rest or whatever.
I'm kind of here for Melina. I'm looking at the actress. I'm kind of here for Melina.
Sold.
Like that's
Sold.
Yeah, I'm sold. I'm kind of sold on this movie already, guys. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, sure.
It is gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot for me to not like this movie.
Yeah,
Big
if
surprise,
the
right,
action
Ben?
scenes are good, if the action scenes are good, I won't give a fuck about anything else. That'd be fine.
I
So,
mean,
like,
there's
let's
no
do
way
it.
they can put the best parts in a trailer, right? I mean, they're
Exactly,
not
so
like,
that's
like
also
all the
the
best
thing.
parts.
unless it's Deadpool, and then you do.
I mean,
Every single
Hot
funny
Deadpool
line from
didn't put
Deadpool
the
was in the
best
first
part,
trailer.
No.
hot take. That's a hot take.
No,
we'll
sorry.
We'll put that over there.
That movie was ruined by the trailer. It's a great movie,
For you,
but yeah,
Right, for the rest of the world.
everybody else seemed to
Literally
fucking love
right.
it.
more than half the jokes were from in the trailer. So I was watching it, going, okay, yeah, that joke. Oh,
Wasn't
okay,
the trailer
okay,
like
I remember
mostly
that joke.
only that highway
Oh
scene?
shit!
No,
So this whole time I'm trying to figure out why do I know the guy in the trailer, but he's playing Scorpion and he's the guy that's in fucking Endgame.
Wait.
He's the guy that Ronan fucking kills in Endgame. He's
Oh.
playing Scorpion.
Huh.
Yeah.
Dope.
And he's in Army of the Dead, which is a movie that I do want to see. Very interested in this movie.
Oh yeah,
Directed
that's
Snyder movie.
Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see.
There's a lot of people in that movie.
Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
'Cause, Chris D'Elia has filmed all his scenes for it, and then they took him out.
And then they were like,
Wow.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And added someone else digitally.
that's wild.
So we'll see.
There's a lot of fucking people in that movie that make me excited about it though. So
Yeah, I mean, I was sold just by when Chris D'Elia was talking about it on his podcast before he was canceled. But like I was like, it sounds dope. Like he didn't really get into details, but like with the cast that's there and I love zombie movies. Period.
Yeah.
We could have a whole episode about that shit.
yes, we can. We talked about this I think last week. We were talking
Did we?
shamblers or runners, and we were discussing what you would do if the zombies sprinted at you. We were like, nope. We should talk about this next time.
I feel like
So
we
the dude
have.
that's playing Sub-Zero's he was in the raid.
Yeah,
He's his partner in the raid. Okay.
it's great in Last Samurai too.
Yep.
I love that movie. But hey, the new format means we typically stick to an hour. We are starting to trail a little bit, but we have a fun little post game ceremony where we talk about ourselves for a minute. If you guys ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay. We all go around table, say what we're working on, and then we say, what do you want to try to... Well, we used to have a 2-week list of accomplishments, so we'll see if this works since, how much can you get done in a week, really? But we try to say, what do we like to get done by next episode? So, Caleb,
Sure.
Go ahead.
What have I
What are you working
been? Yeah, what am I working on currently? Just did an interview with a buddy of mine that runs the Twitter account for the Hades Blaseball team, which is a big part of this weird thing that Blaseball is. And next week I've got an interview with my brain, Rami Ismail, who's huge in the game industry. Big voice for diversity and inclusion and eliminating crunch. So yeah, I've been like prepping those interviews with documents and shit. That's
Very good.
what my week's mostly been. It's kind of dope.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tech, what are you working on?
I'm working on everything, bro.
What am I
So I'm
not
currently-
working on?
My roof.
What am I not
car.
working on? I'm currently mixing down 2 projects, 2 music projects that I need to release. Grooveland Volume 3.
Oh, shit.
And it's all done too. So it
Nice.
sounds really good. I got my funk album almost done. but I'm mixing down the majority of it, and I'm still trying to settle a name for that. I was gonna use Technicolor, but Technicolor, they got at me a while ago and said don't do that. So that's been taking up most of my energies, plus the streaming, which I've been doing every single day at 6 o'clock in the morning, which I enjoy that schedule.
Nice.
And it's been actually working out, and a lot of
Getting a lot of people in like Thailand or Germany or something,
No.
or no? Okay.
no, just getting some people it was just up. It's just a good time to be up.
Sure.
Good time to stream.
Okay.
Not as congested.
Sure.
The YouTube is going good. Getting new subscribers, and working on getting more content out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did today was my first like commercial video for this podcast.
Yeah, that was great.
Which I enjoyed doing. I need to shave, but I'm trying to grow my beard out.
Okay.
So it looks scraggly as fuck. And I got like one right here. This is random. I got one right here that looks like there's something on my face at all times. It's like a gray hair, but it looks like something just sitting like I have something on my lip. It's weird. But that's it.
Nice.
Nice.
What's up, man?
Ryan,
Ryan?
what are you working on right now?
I'm working on getting the content elsewhere, except for my, just from my Twitch. So I'm putting things out on TikTok. We've been playing a lot of Wreckfest, so I've got actually quite a few clips that I'm going to throw up there. Also, it's getting warmer out, so I'm working on cleaning out my garage because last year I've built a few things, some like outdoor chairs. My grandpa designed these lights that he wants me to continue building since he can't do it anymore. So
Neat.
I think I'm going to start working on some outdoor furniture kind of branding. See about doing that like hardcore this summer.
That's
See
awesome.
what I can do, and maybe try and get a jump start on it now. Get a few things made to actually sell. So I'm working on that big time. I made these cutting boards for my wife for Christmas. That came out fantastic. They're like 25 inches wide by like 12 or 13 inches deep, so you
Nice.
can literally do everything on it. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do that, and maybe do some like YouTube work with it. Some sped up videos
Smart.
of me making things. So
Okay,
Cool.
dude.
that's what I got.
I'd definitely buy some stuff, bro. Like seriously.
Sweet.
Or
sounds
commission you
amazing.
for something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm also working on Ben's. I'm working on the design for Ben's workout steps.
Or
You
plyo
wanted me to
box.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Badass. I love that.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I've all my clients are. I'm not cheap. I'm more expensive than a gym, so put your branding on the box. You never know, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
word of
but
mouth.
Once
Right.
you get that logo, you gotta put that bitch everywhere.
That's
dog.
right.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm spending a lot of plates right now. I'm trying to make some comics on the side, but I had a week off from school. That's been really nice, but I got to hit the ground running next week. Personal gym business is going good. Working on my game, Void Speed, which we're both going kind of slow, but we're still making progress. We got some solid numbers on the wish list and all that stuff. I think we got up to like 1,000 wish lists already, which is pretty crazy. So,
That's awesome.
and we keep getting approached by publishers. So, we're actually like, sifting through them. Like, who do we go with? Stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. But
Nice.
yeah, so no clear goals for next week. Just keep grinding, keep putting stuff out. So
Nice.
just follow us. We all have our Twitters. Follow us on Twitters. We're pretty regular posting our shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Pretty
Oh.
fucking active.
all our names are listed, right? So
Yep. All right, Sarge, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, man.
It's
Thanks
great
for
to have
having
you here.
yep.
I look forward to see what type of content we create in the future with the podcast. Exciting times.
I think so.
Hell yeah.
for sure. I'm excited.
Tad-
Caleb, you gonna do any streaming after this?
Yeah,
We-
we're gonna play Wreckfest, I believe.
Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Since we can't play
that's the
Watch
plan.
Dogs.
This is
Oh
right.
yeah. Did you hear about that, Tick?
Yeah, I
You
saw
saw the
his tweet.
His fucking Karen
Ridiculous.
I put I put that tweet
was
up,
carried as hell.
and then I saw a text tweet of like, "Man, why are people so negative?" It's like, oh, my bad.
Mm,
But it was from earlier in the day. It's like, okay.
you're fucking Karen.
That's
Yes.
funny. That's funny. All right, everyone, check us out. We will be on all streaming platforms as always. Look up the Nerdy Bitch Show. We are literally on every single platform that you can ever imagine anywhere.
You can't find us, it's
in
your
time.
fault.
If you cannot find us, you don't care. But we want you to care because we love you. For everyone who was in the chat, we appreciate you. DJ Moff, shout out to you.
Appreciate you hanging out.
Catch you guys next Thursday, 9 p.m.
Yep. To talk about WandaVision.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the plan.
That was the plan,
Oh.
right? Yeah.
A conclusion.
A conclusion.
A conclusion.
And a pregame for Falcon and
pregame.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There it is.
Yep.
Get hype.
Next week.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.